How you doing? This is John, and this is John's Long Box. Today, digging through my comics, I found Machine Man #1, The Living Robot. Okay, this is a Marvel comic, 35 cents, 1978. They made him in their image, then condemned him to death for being too human. Okay, this is the artist is Jack Kirby. It's also written by Jack Kirby. So Jack Kirby, as we know, pretty much him and Stan Lee created most of everything that was Marvel. And then I don't know the exact year, but he left Marvel to go to DC Comics because he had some sort of dispute with Stan Lee. I don't know the inside baseball details of that, but here he's coming back now. And at this point, if you ask me, it wasn't his best creative period, but it was very prolific. He did lots of things like Devil Dinosaur, The Eternals, Machine Man, a famous run on Captain America. He was just producing a lot of work. This is one of his more lasting creations from that period, Machine Man. All right, so let's check it out. This is surprisingly good shape. Here's the ads. Is the indicia? Let's see what I'm trying to look for the 1978. Okay, so here we are. Edited, written, and drawn by Jack Kirby. That's a mistake there. I don't think you should be editing your own work. Sometimes you need an outsider perspective, and you could kind of see it. Okay, lettered and inked by Mike Royer, colored by Petra G, enjoyed by Archie Goodwin. All right. That's just a funny credit. So just here's a nice splash page here. Machine Man opening. I just love the purple. Jack Kirby was fast and loose with anatomy, as you can see. And legend has it that he would just draw a head, draw another head, draw a rock, and just fill in the details as if like the whole picture was formed fully in his mind, and he was just releasing it. He was very quick. Not he didn't draw like a standard figure like other artists. He like I said, his gift for imagination was almost supernatural. Here he is, Machine Man, extending his arm. So let's go to the next page. Here we have 3 vertical. This is to convey the height and the danger. Just look at the perspective. The arms going down, and then these little pegs are sticking out to create a ladder. But who are these people? Well, we'll get to that. The guy's grabbing onto and goes to fall. And here Machine Man leaps off, which I don't know why he didn't do this at the beginning. I have to cancel gravity and scoop him up in midair. So why didn't you do that? Unless there's a power cost. And that's what I mean by he shouldn't be editing his own work. But here he rescues this guy. Oh, sea monkeys. I've always loved this ad. And then you get them in their brine shrimp. That's what they look like. Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew t-shirts. Classic 6 panels. So here we go. The heavy lines. The deep inks. Classic Jack Kirby woman's face over here. So this is like I can't even speak. This is called In Medio Res. We're just starting in the middle of the story. This was not the first appearance of Machine Man. He debuted in Space Odyssey 2001 number 8, and that was its own story. And then Jack Kirby pulled that character out and inserted him into the Marvel world proper, and they got his own title. If you ask me, these kind of look like the Forever People. The Forever People were part of the New Gods for DC. But I mean, they just look at that. This is remember when I said you could always look at the sky and you could tell if it's computerized coloring or not? Can you see like the delineation is very defined? This is the pink sunrise and the blue sky. The pink doesn't just gradiate or blend into that. There's clear line because they couldn't do it. This was done with pen and ink. I don't know. I still like the pen and ink better. I'm an old-fashioned guy. And here we have, this is the man who created Machine Man. So meanwhile, top secret division of government research, Dr. Broadhurst. And this is the prototypes. Machine Man was X51 series, whatever that means. Just sounds very top secret, doesn't it? The X51 series, it was the best of this automated machine human replicant, and all these other prototypes were scrapped. Here you go. High school diploma. Satisfy your meat tooth. You got a meat tooth? So he's shady government agent. This guy's name I'll never remember, but he just exists so he could pontificate towards. The model was labeled X51, and it became Aaron Stack. It was given the face and body and simulate body and tissue to become one of us. So Aaron Stack is the secret identity of Machine Man, and I think he gave him the looks like his deceased son. So here he is, and then he wears sunglasses to cover those eyes. But so Machine Man can pass as human by putting on this rubberized fake tissue. And here they are talking about the benefits and the threats to humanity that Aaron Stack, aka Machine Man, poses. Also X51. So here he is. He achieved human sentience and escaped, if I remember correctly. But here we go, and I just full panels. Just look at every square inch is just filled. A lot of dialogue. This panel, just. I got to break out one of the newest Marvel comics I have, and just show you the difference. This is like Machine Man. This is like a not even an A, not even a B, not even a C. I'd say this is like a D-list character, and still just look how much is in every panel. He's lifting up the tree. Every square inch is just filled. Even this dead space is just filled with color. It's, I don't know. I don't want to start getting into why I don't like the modern Marvel comics. Here we go. Star Wars ad. Oh man, I was just the perfect age for Star Wars as a kid. Zagnut. I've never seen a Zagnut in real life. Strong arms. If you give them $4.98, you will have these arms. You will go to bed and you wake up, and that's your. Unfortunately, you will lose a leg, so you'll have this torso, but only one leg. Sorry, man. That's the breaks. That's why it's only $3.98. So here he is moving the trees. I don't know why he's moving the trees. The vegetation is thick and resistant, as you claim, but I want to manage is to park this tree. So he has the standard array of powers. He's metallic, so his body's invulnerable to like gunshots or anything like that. Super strength. Computerized. So think of like Data from Next Generation, but mixed with Inspector Gadget, because his arms can extend. He can cancel gravity and float. And he also has like whatever the plot requires kind of powers. So going off of the car, contemplating the existence of like 4 panels. This only has 4 panels because I guess they're trying to fill out the story. This is, you can see this is kind of rushed. The heavy inking to give this light drawing some depth. The shade, the cars all over the place. I just love how filled. Look, Jack Kirby drew all these cars. He could have just cheated and zoomed in on this one car, but he wanted to see all the passengers, like to wonder what's going on. Look at this freak. But he could have just zoomed in on that. But he was a workhorse. He was a professional. He did the work. There's a lot of cheats that they could do. Look at this wonderful thing. I remember this. The wheels coming out and then together, and he skateboards, and of course the wheels are motorized. So here he goes zipping around everybody. This whole gag, this could have been done in like 2 panels. Now he's jumping over the cars, skating. People, hit the siren, Joe. cops are coming. Or police, that means trouble. So, of course, he flies. I don't know why he didn't fly from the get-go, but what do I know? I'm just a mere human. Get with it. Pizzazz. I have a funny story about pizzazz. When I was living out west, I dated a girl who owned a comic book store, and she told me a funny story that when they used to distribute comics out there, and they had a warehouse behind their bookstore, and somebody had broken in. It was like a storage unit. They lifted up this garage door and stole 6 long boxes of comics. They didn't bother to look at them. They just grabbed the first 6 they could find, threw them in their truck, and drove away. And it was all filled with Pizzazz #1, just this unsellable magazine. And when they went to work, they were like, "Thank you, robbers. You cleared out this space of unsellable merchandise." So this is machine mail. Look at this P.O. Box, Thousand Oaks, California. So I guess this was going like right to Jack Kirby himself. Machine mail, yeah. Yeah, so I guess Jack Kirby, because Marvel was still in Manhattan at this point. So here he is, just a little article. And then I guess he didn't want to write a lot, so he just... Because if you see this panel was already in the comics, and this is later on. So they just reused panels to... you could put this all over. This would be one whole column. So little cheat there to get some more work done. We've seen this advertisement before in one of the other comics, but this is the whole Marvel roster at the time, and I love this. And remember, they're all mailed flat, and because at one point they were like rolled up and ruined. So I think at this point they were putting like a stiffening into the envelope to protect them. Because when I got my Doctor Strange comics, they were kind of beat up. Tomb of Dracula, Master of Kung Fu, Marvel 2-in-1. Lose weight. So here's the military going off because there's a flying freaky robot. I was gonna say in the past he always put individual faces. I know I pointed that out in Fantastic Four #1, how each sailor had a different face, but now, like I said, this isn't Jack Kirby's greatest period of creation. Look at that smock. It looks like a bloody butcher. This was just another trope. The overzealous, angry colonel or general or whatever. I think full bird. I guess he's a colonel with the eye patch. So this, I wonder if this was supposed to be Jack Kirby and they changed it. I mean, Nick Fury. Jeez, Jack Kirby. So here he is. He got a machine to track him. I never thought I would be using this device for this degree. So he's trying to protect his creation. But the military, we invested too much money and resource and time into this guy. We got to track him down. Although forgive the servant and the curiosity which drove. Yeah. More advertisements. Karate, judo, sabate, jujitsu. I remember this ad. Turn belly fat into rock hard lean stomach. So hit a little ad. You got this fat belly? We could give you a nice trim waist. You know, I guess in these days they would have the opposite of this, because if you had big, you want slim thighs, back, nowadays we want you thick, right? You got this big old booty, we'll trim your booty down, or give you some boobs and a flat stomach. But that's funny, the ads today would be opposite of this. Skinny girls want a big old booty. The times that they are changing. Here he is, he's going home, of course, 1,000 yards to the nearest house. Spying see how there's an oval over here? It's conveying the distance. A lot of contemplating the nature of your existence. The Silver Surfer did it. Aaron Stack did it. Matter of fact, they kind of goofed on it in a later comic. That he was always thinking about him. Look at this helicopter. It looks like a robot frog. As much as I love Jack Kirby, I could say that that's not the best helicopter. It doesn't look like 2 eyes, open mouth or whatever. Oh, they're using sonic rifles. The sound waves have disrupted my circuits. The anti-gravity unit won't function, and I've lost control of my right leg. They've disabled me. Laying on the ground. See, here's that panel from before. And if I remember correctly, these little panels open up, and each one fires like a different kind of blast, kind of like if you're familiar with the Mandarin from who fought Iron Man. So these poor soldiers are coming up. Shoot first, and he take that, you creeps. I can make things just hot. Here he shoots fire. Marvel Boltons. Marvel Premiere Seeker 3000. How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. I never had a copy of this book. I should look for a copy of that book. Spider-Man spoils his snatch. I'll keep the obvious joke to myself. And if you're gonna spoil some snatch, you spoil that snatch with Twinkies. Nice cream-filled Twinkies. You fill that Twinkie with cream. Okay, so he creates this inferno that the soldiers can't penetrate, and here he is on the other side of the wall. And then, reap! He hits him with, I assume that's still the sonic rifle. Look at that. Anatomy's all twisted, but I guess he can get away with it saying that he's a robot. So here he is firing with his pointer finger blast. He shattered my rifle. Here he is. I forgot about this. This just made me laugh. These wheels with come out of his arms. So he's got the plot device powers. Inspector Gadget Go, tank tread arms. And I don't even know if they ever show these again. Central City. Of course, the man in Peter Spaulding, he lives there. I'm not happy about striking a friendship with the psychiatrist, but he did offer his help. So he makes friends with the psychiatrist, and together they explore his humanity. Am I human? Am I alive? Do I have a soul? Next to House of Nightmares. The Machine Man embarks on a bizarre adventure of frightening detail. And that's what he's doing. Jack Kirby's purpose was to explore whether or not, look at that bodybuilding course. I'll finish that thought in a second, but first I got to talk about this ad. Look at that. I had this poster hanging up in my room. Oh, I got excited. I thought there was something else. But I also ordered a color by numbers poster and a set of markers. Mark Hamill holding on to Princess Leia. Hey kid, I like your taste in t-shirts. And Chewbacca. R2-D2 with the backpack. And I always like this. Obi-Wan Kenobi tapping on the still, he's gonna murder him with the lightsaber, but this poor guy, he's not doing anything. He's just checking out this wonderful poster. Come on, man. So here we go. Get some grit. So I just want to finish my thought. The purpose of this comic was Jack Kirby, as I don't want subpar, I guess I'll say, or not his best. I'll say not his best because I don't subpar make it sound like it's bad. I enjoyed this. It was good. It was competent. Jack Kirby, on his bad day, is still better than most other people, if you ask me. But this was not his best work because his best work is beyond the stars, So this is just terrestrial. But he's very philosophical. He was at this point in his life, he was just pondering the big questions. What is the soul? What is the nature of humanity? What defines life? And that's what Machine Man was doing. He was artificially created, just like years later, Data in Next Generation was a human. What was that episode? The Measure of a Man? And that's what he was doing. That's why the supporting cast was psychiatrists and artists and stuff like that. Can he create art? Is he a human? Does he have his own free will? Just because somebody else made him, does that mean he belongs to that person? That was the themes that were explored. And then there was the explosion at the bank, and he fought the bad guys. But so, Jack Kirby was always asking questions, like same with the Eternals. Does mankind have free will? Is there a God? Were we visited by ancient astronauts? How did life arise? Just cool questions. And when you're a little kid, these are the questions that matter. Are robots? Do robots belong to themselves? Come on, man. We talked about that as kids. Kids are natural philosophers. I remember digging in the dirt with my friend Danny as a wee little kid, and he asked me if there's a God, does God worship a God, and does that God worship another God, and do these ants look at us as God and worship us? You know, and we were this was like pre-kindergarten or kindergarten. So, you know, Jack Kirby never lost that childlike philosopher that we all were and then grew out of. And that's why I like him. You know, he could, I hate to malign this, but he could give not his best work and I will still love it because of the man and his love of first off the comics as a medium, and then the care and thought that went into it. So you got me gushing a little waxing philosophical about this Machine Man. These back issues are dirt cheap. Maybe they went up. I'd get them now before there's a Marvel movie rushed out with Aaron Stack Machine Man. You know, I heard rumors that there might be like an Easter egg. He might be in the background of one of the new series or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or something like that. So there you go. That's Machine Man, the Living Robot by Jack Kirby. Thanks a lot. Please like the videos. Please subscribe, and share the videos with somebody. You know, send them whatever. You know what to do. I'm just trying to get subscriber count up, and I appreciate anybody's help. Thank you so much. Oh, progress on the comic book room. It's painted. The floor is down, and I started the shelves today and tomorrow, and then I should be done by next week. So next Sunday, I should be putting comics in the room. So that'll take a little bit, but once I start putting comics in the room, I'll be able to find, because I have a list of comics in my mind that I want to do. These are comics that I'm kind of like stumbling across that I would, you know, I still love these comics. That's the whole thing. I'm only going to showcase comics that I love. I really don't want to waste anybody's time with a bad comic book. Maybe I'll put up a couple of bad comics as examples of why I don't like them. That I think that would be an interesting idea. But I'm asking for your time. I don't want to ask for your time to get you annoyed at a comic book that is bad. Or you know, I want you to feel the joy that I feel whenever I look to these comics. So this is, I love this. I know I was probably the harshest on this than any other video, but please, I love, you know, there's not too many comics in my collection that from this era that I don't like. Okay, so here we go. Thanks a lot. See you around. Bye bye.